What if the most powerful story you ever tell isn't the one on the screen, but the one you coordinate behind the scenes? Today, we are talking about what it means to manage to pivot and build a legacy that keeps the production running and the vision alive. If you are ready to build your legacy in real time, you are in the right place. Let's go. Welcome to Women of Color Live, the live version of Women of Color, an intimate conversation, a top 20 women's empowerment podcast. We center and empower women of color, and we also have a free newsletter built specifically for Black women 50 plus, the Dream Lifestyle Collective weekly rhythm. Go to DaninoGarrett.com to get started. And shout out to our production team at the Leon Thomas Group. Today's guest is Nicole Welch, a production manager, Television Academy member, and industry authority featured in the 2026 Produced By magazine Spotlight. And she's a homegirl from the D, and I know her very well. This month, we are highlighting the execution series, Power, Pivot, and Purpose. Nicole, welcome to Women of Color Live.
Hey, Deneen. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you are so welcome. All right. So I know Nicole, I have known her for a while. So you'll probably hear me say Nikki because that's what I know her as, what I've taught her for a number of years. Let's backtrack. She actually worked at the daycare that my son went to, and she also babysat him. So that's how close we are. That's how we go back.
Love John. Yes.
Right. So I just love this. And you know what? So as I was thinking, and as I was kind of like reading your bio, I recognized that this is and saying legacy. I'm like, this is your family legacy. It's like so many members of your family are in this space.
A little bit. I mean, my mom and my dad. But my mom growing up, we used to just watch her. She had a show that came on, was it Barton Cable, on Wednesday nights. It was called City Highlights. And so we just grew up in it. She was doing that show until I was well into high school, maybe even like into college. Before she ended that.
That is so awesome. And then you said Barton Cable. So again, for folks from the D, we know. Barton Cable. Oh, and as a matter of fact, for those who don't know, the Barton family did, they own the casino in Vegas, D. I don't know if it's the D or D or what. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, y'all can check it, fact check me on that, but I believe that they did own that casino. I don't know if the family still owns it, but I believe that they opened that casino and it's down on Fremont Street. So it's in downtown, old Las Vegas.
Yes.
Right? That is so cool. That is so cool. I love that. All right. So let's kind of jump into it. Oh, and by the way, those who are watching, let us know you're out there. Engage with us. Drop WOC in the comments. Drop a dreamers if you are part of the Dream Lifestyle Collective, and drop a heart if you're family or friend. Because again, we want to know you're out there. Drop questions, comments, all the things. Engage with us. All right. So Nikki, who were you before the title, before the credentials of the PGA in the Television Academy? And what was the decision in that Detroit control room that shifted how you saw yourself as someone built to lead production?
That's a handful right there, Deneen. Okay. So before all of this, I guess let's talk about my journey just a little bit.
Yes.
Right? So as I mentioned, my mom had her television show when I was a kid. Like I was on her show when I had to been about 3, just on it, doing little arts and crafts for like a special, I think it was like an Easter episode or something like that. But as I got older, I got to just come to work with her. So not only did she have the television show, she also worked on Mix 92.3. So I would go to the radio station with her sometimes in the morning. And then on Wednesdays, we'd go from the radio station to the television station. And I would either sit in the studio and watch her and watch all the cameras and all the camera people, or I would sit in the control room. And I really loved sitting in the control room with her director and producer, Montez Miller, because she was just such a fascinating person to watch and just see her just do everything that she was doing. Like, that's a lot to be a producer, to be the director, just calling all the shots, you know? And I love seeing Black women in this field doing what they do and doing it well.
Yes.
And so, like I said, as a kid, that's what I would do. And I fell in love with that. I fell in love with the things that Montez was doing. And Montez, even when I was old enough, she let me like PA for her, for like a Hyundai event that she was doing, let me sit in on the edit for it, that kind of stuff. But beyond that, before we even get to television and those kinds of things, I was just a kid who loved music. I loved coming home, watching things like TRL, and I used to love Video Soul, like those kinds of shows, 106 in Park. And so those things really just ignited a fire in me to want to learn more about the industry and just how things come together, because I love seeing things go from 0 to 1,000. And it just left a big impact on me. And so that is what kind of helped keep it going for me as I continued on. And then what was the second question you asked me, sorry?
It really was just all part. It was all part of it. For all of that, right? And so you taking us on your journey, you know, we appreciate that. And then to where you are today, right? Leading production.
Yeah. And so
believe it or not, it was one question. It was just a long question.
It was one question. Oh, no, that's all right. But all of that kind of led me to where I am now, between television, my love for television and just watching things come together, but more importantly, my love for storytelling and learning about people's backgrounds. That is really where that got me. And so from high school on, well, I guess I'll say college, I started doing like radio shows on our college station. I was working on the only shows we had that was like an urban platform for it. And we only did it Fridays and Saturdays, but I was one of the hosts of those shows. I was a news anchor for News Central 34. I went to Central Michigan University, fire up chips. And I was a news anchor there for about a year and a half. I did some internships in Michigan. And then those internships just continued on to more work in production. I had my own community affairs show that I was working on, where I got to interview different people, learn different aspects of the industry that I had not learned in school, which was really good for me. It helped me pick up a camera, it helped me with editing, it helped me just hone my skills in every which way that I had never seen possible. So that's kind of where it got.
I love that. Everything about that. And by the way, I guess I'm a chip as well, because I did get my master's from Central.
Yay, yes, let's go.
Never stepped foot on a campus though.
That's okay. It's cold up there.
Never stepped foot. Couldn't. I mean, I know what city it's in, but yeah, I couldn't even tell you how to get there. But I do have a master's. But you know how schools have those extension programs, so I really just did everything in downtown Detroit. And I think really honestly, all my classes were in downtown Detroit. But yes, so I can say that as well, that we have that in common. So
yes, we do.
Wow, cool. And you know what? I've said on several shows how I learn more about people that, you know, I know doing these conversations. And so learning this about, you know, you growing up with your mom and being on a set and your inspiration there, and how pretty much she planted a seed in you. Right. And it made me think about my son. So John, he is in event planning, and that seed was planted for me, because here's the thing that's just crazy. I moved to Vegas because I was interested in doing events. Right. You know, going years back, there used to be this Budweiser Superfest concert that I would go to. And I'm like, I want to do this. I didn't know what it was, but I wanted to do it. So fast forward, I'm like, oh, okay, that's like an event space. Anyway, that's what took me to Vegas. And while we were there, we got very involved in a volunteer organization. And of course, there was a lot of events. And so I remember John saying years later that being involved in those events is what sparked an interest for him. Had
Mhm.
no clue that that
Mhm.
was happening. Had no clue that the things that I was doing was planting seeds in my son. And so that's what he got his degree in. And that's what he's doing today. So,
That's awesome. I mean,
right?
yes, seeing your parents doing things, or even just anyone that you even may look up to, doing something and just being in that space, it can definitely just fill you with so much fire to just get something done, and just so much joy and just experiencing something that you may have never thought you would ever see.
Absolutely. And you know what? In this day and age, like if there's something that you enjoy doing, there's a way that you can make money off of it. There's a way to monetize. Just figure it out, right? Because just like I don't know if when you were little, if your mom would say this to you, but parents would say to kids like who were playing video games, that you're not going to have a job in that. And people are millionaires from playing
Mhm.
games.
Yeah,
And
right. From just playing games.
because people are watching them. So
Yeah,
whatever you can think, like you can make it happen, you can monetize it. So definitely lean into all that.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you mentioned how you love seeing Black women in this space, right? And I'm going to kind of take a gather that probably not very many Black women are in this space. Is that pretty true?
There are Black women in this space, in the production space, just in general. I, as a production manager, I'm usually the only production manager on the sets that I'm on. It's very rare that I have more production managers. And so, unless I'm going to like networking events, like those kinds of things, I'm not going to see many other Black women, at least in my position,
Yeah.
just because we're not working together. But yeah, most of the people that I work with, there have been a lot of sets. Most of the sets that I've been on, I've been the only Black person
Mm.
that has been on the set. It's a little
Yeah.
disheartening, to be honest with you. But
And what?
I say it's a little disheartening, to be honest with you, but we're going to change that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. By continuing to show up, right. And to be
Exactly.
visible, to make sure that we're visible. So I was sharing with you that I was at Bomisi
Mhm.
last week, which is an organization for Blacks in media. And they
Mhm.
have an annual summit, and that summit was in Detroit.
Mhm.
And Jamil Hill was one of the, she was on a fireside chat conversation. And she talked about how they were asking, I think they were kind of asking, like, what advice would you give to like up and coming journalists?
Mhm.
And she said that or the way I'm going to take away from what she said is one, and they were talking about creators. So it was kind of like the journalists versus the creators. And she mentioned something how, well, the creators wouldn't have anything to talk about if it weren't for what the journalist was writing. Okay, that was one
Mhm.
aspect or perspective. She also said that the journalists, they need to lean into what the creators are doing, and that's branding yourself. So
Mhm.
she was saying how, for the most part, when you're going, you're taught as a journalist that you're not the story. And so
Yeah.
now it's a shift that you are, and you need to be, and you need to show up. She said, put your face on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
You got to be out there. So it's like what you said with storytelling. And like you're saying that we do need more Black women in these spaces, in a way to make that happen is by those that are already in the spaces to show up, to
Mhm.
be seen, to, tell our stories and put our face on it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, not only just show up, like, you just got to do it. You just got to go out there and do it. That's that's the only that's the only way I feel like we can really advance. Is just getting out there and doing it, and being not being a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
There there are a lot of people, I mean, in
Oh.
any industry, but even in
Mhm.
my industry, which is why I've started posting a little bit more now about, the background
Yeah.
of production that people don't see and don't think about, because you don't want to. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this forever, but I want to be able to leave some type of legacy, some type of information, something that whoever comes after me, they can take that and just go off with it and do it
No,
better.
absolutely. Okay. So
Hey,
is this your mom? Oh, yay. Oh, that is so
hey,
sweet. That's
Kathy
so
Young. Well,
sweet. I love that. Your parents are watching.
Oh,
Oh, look
listen,
at
big
your brother.
brother too.
See, I said about legacy. Okay, y'all. She does come from a family, their legacy. They are in this space in their own lanes. And I just love to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So, man, that kind of like, that just feels so good to see it.
It does feel good.
So again, those who are watching, tap in like Nikki's family is doing. Let us know you're out there. This is some good stuff right here, right? Because Nikki just said, just do it. Absolutely, just do it. Get out there and do it. And y'all know if if you've been watching me, listening to the podcast, that's how I got started 6+ years ago. Eventually, once I knew what my hesitation was, I just did it. I say I Nike'd it and I just did it. Launched my podcast, and here we are 6+ years later. And here we are doing a live every Thursday. So absolutely just do it. Exactly. All right. So what did you have to unlearn about staying in your lane to fully step into the pivot of managing large-scale global broadcasts? And how has that changed how you define legacy now?
As far as unlearning, okay. I don't know what I really had to unlearn. I feel like more so I just had to go into every single project that I've done with an open mind to learn something new, and be open to it and be able to acclimate and make that pivot. And I guess an example, because I haven't really talked about the things I've worked on, but I've worked on different things from reality shows, documentaries, larger scale reality competition shows like Holy Moly. So just every space that I've been in has definitely been it's been a learning experience. A reality show that may have 20 to 25 people, it's not going to operate like a competition show that has over 150 people that you're managing and you're in charge of managing and supervising. And so the communication is going to be the same as far as you need to communicate with every single person or every single department head that you're working with. That's going to stay the same. But how big a show is definitely going to change the impact it's going to have on everyone, especially if there's over 150 people. And that's a lot of people to just be trying to manage over I guess I could say like a farm or something like that. So I would say with anything, I more so had to just be open to like, okay, things may change, things may not work or look the same way that it did for this documentary that I did for CNN as it's going to look for Holy Moly or like American Ninja Warrior type of feel. Like it's not going to do that. So you just have to be open to whatever comes to you, and be open to communicating with people your opinions and anything that you may feel is different from what they're saying, or you have a different mindset that some people have, and a lot of people will appreciate that, learning from each other at the end of the day.
So out of your different experiences, so we'll flip it around, right? Instead of unlearning, learning. So what would you say over these years of your experiences being in these different spaces, the different type of shows that you've had, whether it's radio, whether it's production, just your different lanes, what would you say like the most pivotal learning experience for you was?
Being open to listening to people, more so because not that I'm stubborn, but when I have something in my mind, the way I want something to go, I'm like, no, this is the way I want it to go. And I think it's going to be perfect this way. I have to be open to taking in other people's thoughts or advice. Because at the end of the day, I'm still learning, every day from every single person that I work with. And I'm very thankful for that, whether they've been a person who's been a little more difficult to work with, or just someone who I adore working with every single day and miss it when our shoot is over. Yeah.
I love that. So being open and listening to what they have to say, and knowing that you know a lot, but there's still more to learn.
Oh yeah. Forever. I'm a forever learner.
Right. And so I want to kind of go back to this, because this podcast is about empowering women, right? So it's like giving us something tangible that we can walk away with and we can do. So again, going back to wanting to see more Black women in a space, loving when you are seeing Black women in a space, do you have a community? Like I know, a few years ago, we were talking about the different memberships that we were involved in and what should we get involved in, like what's most in alignment with where we are in life at that particular time and whatnot. What community do you have today?
To be honest, my community is pretty, I consider it to be pretty big, because for me, my community is, I don't want to say anyone I've ever worked with, but kind of, because I still will get messages from, whether it's just text or emails, from people just checking in, people reaching out to me saying, hey, I had someone reach out to me the other day that was like, hey, I know someone who's looking for a production manager for a very big event. Unfortunately, I had to turn that down, but I consider my community to be pretty massive. And I like that, because no matter where in the world I go, there's always going to be someone that I can not necessarily lean on, but someone that's going to be there to have my back. And I appreciate that. And yes, I have my women of color. Like I do have my women of color. I have my LGBTQ. I love my alphabet mafia. So they stay strong for me.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
Thank you. So yeah, I have a really great community that is very supportive of me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And you mentioned that you're doing videos on, so you're doing on IG, I know, because I see them. So make sure that those that you're following. And so that's your way of giving back. That's your way of educating, your way of, impacting legacy. Are you doing any like one-on-one mentoring, or are you mentoring in small groups? Are you doing any of that?
I don't have any mentees right now. I would love to get some mentees. I love talking about what I do, because it's such a joy for me to do it. And I love explaining to people what I do. It can be kind of hard to explain what a production manager does, because we have so many different hats, and because every genre that you go into, the production manager, and the production management team, they may operate a little differently. And when I went to school, like at Central, I got a degree in broadcasting and cinematic arts, and the focus there was more, so I wanted to be a news anchor then and a news reporter. And so the focus there was literally just the newsroom, the control room, like that kind of stuff. And then I went back to school. I went to Specs Howard, because I wanted to learn more about not necessarily the film side of it, but kind of more like that run and gun. It was like a one camera, a producer, and a person just asking questions, talking to someone. So I wanted to kind of get that experience. And so I don't know. I feel like I've been prepared for every aspect that I've been in as far as production. But yeah, every production management job is it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's maybe one or three things that would fit in any scenario, right? Like one way to show up that would work regardless.
Like one way to show up as a production manager, or just?
Yeah, in any of those situations.
I think one of the biggest things is, and I'm probably going to keep on hounding on communication, because that is one of the biggest things in production management. Like if your production manager is not communicating with your producers, not communicating with your lighting team, with your sound team, and like all the other different aspects of a show that helps it bring it together, things can kind of fall through the cracks a little bit more. And I know every I don't want to say every production, but not every production will have a production manager, but it's a lot easier, I'd say, on people and on the team in general to have a production manager, because that person's going to be there to anticipate the needs of everyone based on all the information that has been given, based on the story. They're going to try to have everything prepared for you. So when a producer asks like, hey, where's my plant that I needed in the back? Oh, it's already over there. Like we already got it for you. Like, you always want to be 3 steps ahead. You don't want someone to just be waiting. Be like, oh, well, where's the water? Well, we're out of water. Why are we out of water? That's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically project managing, right? So for people, like you said, to kind of explain to people, well, what does a production manager do? It's a form of project managing, right? It's just project managing for production, if you will.
Exactly. It's helping put all the pieces together to make one giant puzzle.
And make sure it's running smoothly, or as smooth as it could, right?
As smooth as it can without the audience noticing the bumps.
Oh, they didn't even notice that. Like, you knew it was everything was on fire, but we didn't know that. We didn't see that because you were there. You were on this.
It's like that little dog gif where he's just sitting at his little coffee table, like everything's fine and everything's just on fire around. Yeah, exactly. That's me every day.
That's you. I love it. I love it. All right. So y'all heard her. She says she's looking for mentees. So reach out. Her handle is on a screen.
Yep.
So she's open, and she's definitely wanting to connect with more people to help more Black women be in this space, show up in this space. So Nicole, you've managed the logistics for everything from The Biggest Loser to live sports and documentaries. Most people see the final broadcast. They don't see the sites behind the management, which is what we're talking about right now. What does mastering the pivot make possible that a perfect plan never could?
Wow. So I will say I was a production assistant for The Biggest Loser. That was like one of my first production jobs. So I won't say that I managed those logistics. I did have to get people around a lot, actually. But I think with me, I've pivoted so much. I feel like as a freelancer, it's just something that you do. And those pivots just help at least me become a stronger person, more confident in myself. I went to New York. A lot of places I went without knowing exactly what I was going to be doing. When I went to New York for my internship at BET, this was after I graduated from Specs Howard, and my only goal was at that time work at BET as an intern and get on 106 in Park somehow, some way. And that was a pivot I had to take because I had been working on a local show in Detroit where I was interviewing different celebrities. I really wanted to interview Monica, and I was able to do that within 6 months of graduating. Like, I was on the ground doing what I had to do to get the interviews I wanted. But that was a pivot I had to make because I had just interviewed for a local, it's supposed to be not necessarily a spokesperson, but like the people who do the safety videos and those kinds of things for different companies. And the interview had gone very well. They were going to have like full benefits, all this kind of stuff. And maybe about a day later, BET calls me and they're like, hey, we have an internship opportunity available for you. We'd love for you to come. You got to be here in 2 weeks. It's unpaid. What are you going to do? And that was a pivot. That was one of the first really big pivots that I had to make and be like, okay, well, I don't know anyone in New York. I don't have anywhere to live. And I have maybe like $500 to $800, but I need to be there in 2 weeks. What am I going to do? And so I took that pivot and I decided to take that shot. And it changed my life for the better. And even in New York, even more pivots happened when there was a time where production had gotten a little slow for me as a PA. And so I started working at the Gap outlet. And I had gone to church one Sunday, and the pastor Mike was talking about, don't lean on your crutches. Your crutches aren't a safe place to be. And that following Monday, I was like, you know what? I feel like the Gap is a crutch. I know I don't have any jobs as far as a PA right now. So I'm just going to quit. And I was on the track for a manager position with Gap Outlet. And I was just like, no, this isn't where I feel God has me. And I don't want this to be my crutch anymore. And so I just left. I left the job with nothing, absolutely nothing. So that was another pivot that I had to take because it was like, okay, I'm sleeping on someone's couch, leather just sticking to my face when I'm waking up.
Probably no air. You said in New York, they probably didn't have any air.
Yeah, right. In that brownstone. But that again was another pivot that I had to take and just put my faith and trust in God and know that when I'm gonna take this leap, He's gonna catch me. And He did. He did.
I
big
love
time. Yeah.
I love that. So I do want to go back to doing what you have to do, and we'll get into that after break. So before we go to break, if today's conversation is landing for you, the Dream Lifestyle Collective weekly rhythm is where we go deeper. It's a free newsletter for Black women 50 plus who are ready to dream, decide, design, and drive their next chapter. Go to DenineOGarrett.com to get started, and we'll be back after this break. I've been doing this work for a while, building, credentialing, showing up week after week for women of color, and more recently for Black women 50 plus who deserve a seat at every table in every room. And I want you to know the rooms are getting bigger. This year, I walked into the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit as credentialed press. I was accepted as press in the room at the Millikan Institute Global Conference, one of the most prestigious gatherings of global leaders on the planet. I was also honored as a Leadership in Action honoree at Career Master. And I finished in the top 5 in my category in the National Entrepreneur of Impact competition. And I'm not waiting for permission to be in the room. I'm building my way into every one of them. And the next phase, already in motion. DreamCon is confirmed. And I'm going with the intention of interviewing my dream podcast guests. Who do you think it is? Drop it in the comments. And we're still waiting on Roots Picnic, BET Cultural's Biggest Week, and Essence Festival. Credential press at the marquee cultural events of 2026, bringing those conversations directly back to you across my social channels. And if you're a Black woman over 50 who is done settling for the life you thought you were supposed to have, who is ready to dream boldly, decide intentionally, and drive your vision, there's a community built specifically for you. The Dream Lifestyle Collective, where we don't just talk about the dream, we live it. All right, so here's how you can be part of what's building. Watch and subscribe on YouTube, where we have new conversations every Thursday. Listen and subscribe to the top 20 women's empowerment podcasts, Women of Color in Intimate Conversation. And if you're ready to join our community, come inside the Dream Lifestyle Collective. And if you're a brand and you're ready to be in a room where women of color conversations happen, and more specifically where Black women 50 plus gather, become a sponsor. The vision is already moving. Catch up to it. All right, welcome back to Women of Color Live. Today we're talking about the power of the pivot and bridging the gap between production logistics and professional purpose with Nicole Welch. And before the break, Nikki had mentioned that she wanted to interview Monica, and she did what she had to do to make it happen. So what did you have to do? What did you do to let us know?
Oh, man. That's a crazy story. I found out she was going to be at Motor City Casino. It was like Big Boy's birthday or like a new album release. I forget exactly what it was. And I was just like, oh, this is my opportunity. I need to try to make this happen. And so I just went online, tried to like Google her. I Googled her record label. I was trying to Google her manager, like all these kinds of things. Of course, this is before social media.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting a thing, not a thing. It was dry. So I was like, you know what? About a week before the show, I was like, this is probably gonna be my last shot. I reached out to Motor City Casino, and they put me in contact with whoever was over events. And I just laid it out. I was like, look, I'm working on a local television show. We interview different entertainers and different people around the city. Just that highlight the things going on in the city. And I would really love to get an interview with Monica. If there is any way that you can get me in contact with her people, I don't care if it's just for like 3 minutes, I would be so grateful. And again, I did not hear back from her until about maybe 2 days before the event. There was the lady, I forgot her name, but she reached out to me and she was like, hey, I got your message. I'm going to see what I can do and try to get a hold of her team. I was working I had about 3 or 4 jobs at that time, but in this moment, I was working at a store called Rule. It was owned by Abercrombie if you're familiar with Michigan or Metro Detroit, I was working at 12 Oaks Mall. I got a call about 4 hours before the event was supposed to start from the lady at Motor City Casino. She was like, hey, I got a hold of her people. She said, if you can make it here before the show, you could do the interview. I hightailed it out of that store, grabbed my best friend because they told me I could bring someone other than my camera person and my other producer. And we went on the Motor City Casino. We got the interview with Monica. We got an interview with Big Boy and I think the promoter of the event as well. So it worked out very well, very well. And then I would go on to work while I was interning at BET. I was working with like the BTS, the behind the scenes crew. And we again would interview her, I think maybe like 2 more times while I was working with the behind the scenes crew. So that was great. But I had to put that work in, calling people, looking all around. Like, that's what you got to do.
That's what you got to do. That's what you have to do. And I love that you said that, right? Because that's what part of shooting a shot. You know, when they say, you know, faith without works is dead. Like you can pray for something and you're supposed to also put in the work to make it happen for yourself. And so what you just shared with us is demonstration of that. And it's also what we were talking about beforehand. So during my the break, the video, I mentioned in there how I'm going to DreamCon with the intention to interview my dream guest. And so a little story about that shooting shot. So when I was in corporate, I wanted this person to be a keynote speaker. Okay. And so someone told me, they said, write a personal letter to her, right, about what you want. They did say, they framed it by saying, now you're wanting this to happen during like award season. So even though she don't really like awards, you know, she's probably going, just giving you a heads up that it may be a no, but still shoot your shot. I poured my little heart out and all the things and came back with no. But no. I mean, my little heart was crushed because I really poured out my heart to this individual in this thing. And I just knew it was going to be a yes. They would figure it out, but it was a no. And it's okay, right? Because I've like circled this person several different times. Like she and I were in the bathroom at the same time. I didn't know it. I missed her, so didn't get a chance to have a conversation there. There was another event where I'm walking up ready, you know, to chat with her, take a picture with her, and her gatekeepers were like, they're like, nope, we got somewhere to go, and kept it moving. So I have a picture of her back. Right. I'm like, what is going on? Why? Why? So now I potentially have another opportunity. And so here's how I feel about all of that. I feel that it's timing as well. Sometimes it's not your time to receive a thing that you think you want. I don't want to just be like, hey, girl, let's take a picture. I want more than that because I think very highly of this individual. She is a game changer in her space. Makes way and room for other people. So all of those things she has going on. And I didn't know, like, well, what do I want with this person? What do I want to come out of this interaction, right? So I wasn't clear on what it is that I wanted to come out of the interaction. And that's why I believe that it never happened, because I wasn't clear on my why, right? So that's my little experience. However, I've been shooting my shot. As we talked about before, you know, we went live, and how now I'm showing up at spaces as press. Now, because Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit, they put out a call to action, like, if you're interested in showing up at the summit as press, like, reach out. And I did. They said yes. And that opened the door to other opportunities. So I'm like constantly on a hunt, like, oh, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of that. Let me reach out. How do I get press credentials? And so now that's how I'm showing up. That's just another notch in my belt, if you will, showing up as press. But it's because I did, you know, I shot my shot.
I mean, exactly. How else you gonna get on there?
When I just did it, you know what I'm saying? Like the things, like all the different things, I just did it. So I do want to go back to gatekeeping, right? Because with this person, she was on the stage talking about how she was gate kept. So imagine how I feel. Now you gatekeeping me.
Just don't know you yet. She don't know yet. The time will come.
Right. It's gonna come. But the thing about it is, it's like with a lot of people, right? Because these people they're starting from, as Black folks, a lot of us, this is not our background. This is not how, this is not our legacy per se. This is not like family generational. It's not necessarily generation. Some of us are first or second in whatever it is we're doing. So we don't have the years and the generations of that backing, right? So we have to kind of like start from, like you did, shooting shots. We had to go for it. We had to say, this is what I want. I'm going to do what I need to do to make that happen. Then we get up here to such a level. Now the gatekeeping happens. And I understand it, right? Because you can't continue to grow and build if you're always so accessible. And at the same time, it's disheartening because you talk about how you were gatekept. Now you're gatekeeping. I just want your thoughts.
Interesting. I'm not a big fan of gatekeeping. I feel like everyone should just, I guess the only thing I'm gatekeeping is like the secret little, I don't even know if I want to say it, the secret little lane on the 110 freeway downtown. Like, I would gatekeep that. We don't need everybody knowing that.
No, you don't.
Oh man. Artists and creatives, they could be a little different. A lot of people feel like, because this happened to me and I had to prove myself, you're going to have to do that as well. And for some people, that's okay. For me, I'm going to give as much information as I can. That's not, giving away super industry secrets that, NDAs that I signed could, mess me up. But I'm not a fan of the gatekeep. I'm not a fan of the gatekeep. And I do believe that people should work for what they want, And even though I did have that backing with my mom, that was one of the reasons I wanted to leave Michigan, because I was like, as much as I love being here and I love my family, I don't want what I want to do to get trumped by who my mother was. And I know that may not mean a lot to the world, but for the city of Detroit, where she's walking down the street and people are just acknowledging and being like, hey, Kathy Young Welch, hey, I didn't want that. Like, even at Specs Howard, I did not know that she knew the president of Specs Howard. She told me this and I was like, well, I'm not going to tell him that. And so it wasn't until my graduation that he found out that I was my mother's child. And he was like, well, why didn't you tell me this? Because I also had one of my teachers worked with my mom. And it was harder for me in class, in my radio class, to do my projects, because she would be like, well, you're sounding like your mother. You need to sound like yourself. And I'm like, well, this is the way I talk. Like, I don't know what else to do. We do sound alike. But that was one of the reasons I wanted to move away from Michigan, because I wanted to do my own. I wanted to start my own and start from that ground up, which I continually do every time I move city to city.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's see. Right.
Yeah.
So we're reading what her mom wrote. I'm reminded that you said you would learn to survive. In order to become successful, and you were right. Your brother Nicole said you're going to New York.
Yeah, she wanted me to stay.
Did your brothers leave as well for like the same reasons? That wanted to have their own paths, or
they definitely wanted to go on their own paths. My oldest brother, Mikhail, he went to Morehouse, so he was gone in '97. And he loved Atlanta. And then my other brother, David, he went off to Chicago, and they both started their own paths, and somehow we all kind of ended up.
See there, look. Look, you did your thing. Your babies tried to go away, but they're still right there connected to you. So you did your thing.
She planted the seed, and we just blossomed from it.
Yeah, and so what you're talking about right now really is a whole different conversation. Because I'm like, yep, such and such is my mom. This is how. That's my mother. Because I believe in using everything that you have. I think that we don't do that enough. Now, I can understand your reasons for wanting to navigate your own paths. So it does take that individual, but also we need to lean into what we have, the advantages, the privilege that we have, so that we can get further, so that we can bring other people along. So that's just me. And I can say it from a space of not living that, right? So I'm like on the outside looking in. However, I do believe like that's for me relationships. And so this fits in relationships, but relationships are so important because it's who you know, and it's also who knows you. I know you based on your work, your personality, how you show up, your storytelling, you putting your face on it, right? So I believe in all of that, and to tap into it and to use it. I will pick up the phone. Hey, you were shooting your shot. I'm going to call whoever. I will call the CEO of a company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Either give me a quick no or let's continue talking.
Okay, all of those things. So I love that. All right. So what do you want the woman watching, especially the one managing a massive build right now, to walk away and execute on, or stop waiting to start?
I would love for women to stop waiting. I know I said this earlier, to like just do it. Stop waiting. And it's something that I sometimes struggle with, to be honest with you. Imposter syndrome is real. It's real. But just this concept, and I continue learning this from different like television academy events where they have like panels, and PGA events where they're having panels and people talking about the projects that they're doing. And they're like, you know what, when we got together with our friends and just started putting things together, even if it wasn't the best in the beginning, it's helped us get to where we are now. So you just have to stop putting stops on yourself, stop overthinking things. And even if it doesn't come out the way that you initially thought it would, just keep pressing forward. Everything is a learning example, or a learning to take away from. So stop putting stops on yourself, because it is possible to get through everything that you're doing on the other end.
I believe in build the plane as you're flying, right? That same, like, let's just get started and build on a way, right? Is an evolution. You're continuing to learn, as you said. When I started 6+ years ago, I was using Anchor. I was using free Anchor. I would have to text my people to say, here's the link. Come in on the link. Then we progress to, now I'm using Zoom. Like now we progress to, having a team, and running the production of it, right? So it's like, absolutely, just start, and then you grow, you pivot, you learn, and all the things will come.
Absolutely. I'm never going to stop learning. Please keep teaching.
All right. So for the woman watching who is navigating a major career pivot and wondering if she has the authority to lead the room, what permission do you give her?
She doesn't need permission. She already has it. Your permission has been given and granted. God has already wrote your journey.
Ooh.
You just got to follow some steps.
Okay.
That's how I walk around in life. I don't like when people see me on set this morning, they saw me on set and they're like, it's 4:00 in the morning. You real happy. I was like, look, God woke me up today. I'm here. Hey. Everybody showed up to work. I didn't have to chase anybody down. We're good.
Praise him. Hallelujah. All the things, right? Yes. Clap that up.
Absolutely.
So you're right. You don't wait for permission. You become it. And when you become it, everything rises to meet you. That's the Dream Lifestyle Standard. So join the Dream Lifestyle Collective weekly rhythm, a free newsletter with strategy, inspiration, and community for Black women 50+, ready for their next chapter. Again, go to DenineLGarrett.com to get started. All right. Before we wrap, what would you like to leave those watching or listening with?
I'm going to keep saying this. Go out and do it. And I'm saying it because I am in a place where there have been dreams that I've had that I had since New York that are starting to resurface and bubble up. And they started coming up as I was preparing for this podcast.
Okay. Podcast.
Maybe, right. Thank you. Well, I still think about that SWOT. Okay.
You think about what? The rooftop? Did you say the rooftop?
The SWOT. when
The
you were
what?
texting me about the SWOT, SWOT. Am I saying it right?
Oh yes, the SWOT
Yes.
analysis. Yeah.
I still think about it. It's not finished yet, but I still think about that. But yeah, a lot of dreams have just started resurfacing for me, and I feel like they're even more resurfacing now because I, not that I pushed them aside, but I waited. I'm a very patient. I'm a very, very patient person. And I know now where I am and the experiences and things that I have been through, all of those things that I've learned are going to help me to now bring everything else into fruition. So
No, and that's how we should be. We need to pause, right? We don't have to, like me. I don't have, I'm one of those ones. I've always been like taking a test in school. I'm like, I want to, the first one to get done. Now, are they all right? Maybe not. I was finished.
they all C's. Yeah.
I just wanted it done. Like I just moved through, like checking off. Like I love to check off. Like I am that person who loves to check off things. So I'm having to learn to like, nope, girl, just sit back, just slow down, just pause, just wait. Even if it takes a while, that's fine. It's going to happen. Like I said, my situation with that person who I keep circling, it's been so, it definitely has been more than 4 years. It has been probably about, 4+ years from when I sent that email, pouring out my little heart. But yeah, it hasn't happened yet. And it's okay, right? And I also want to say this about the people who, I didn't mention any names when I was thinking about these gatekeepers, but you can think of any successful Black person for the most part who, because many of us, we start, we come from humble backgrounds, whatnot. Again, we didn't start necessarily in that space that we ended up in. They are the ones that I was thinking about, the ones that I was talking about. They are making a difference. They are impacting, they're giving back. So when you get to a certain level, there has to be some type of gatekeeping, right? So I wanted to say that part, that I understand it. And again, it would be different if they were the level of gatekeeping to whereas they don't help anybody out. But these people, they truly, truly, truly do. I'm still mad that, girl, don't gatekeep me though. And don't gatekeep when you just talked about being gatekept. Now that don't match. That does not match. Next time, y'all need to plan better. You need to have a buffer of an hour or so to spend time because you are at an event for thousands of Black women. We want to talk to you.
Yeah, so they may not have the time. Coming from the production management standpoint, everything is on a strict timeline, and it's about time and money. Because
I know that's what I'm saying. That's
longer, y'all have to pay me more.
She should have just lost on the money on that part. Because again, we want to talk to you. When we gonna have an opportunity to see you again like this? So that's what I got to say about that. But anyway,
you'll have it. It's gonna happen.
It'll happen with it. Yeah, it'll happen. All right. So I have really enjoyed this conversation because, like, for those who didn't hear at the beginning, we go back. She used to babysit he's now 24. So she used to babysit my son. So that's how far we've gone back. And yes, I have seen her journey. I have so much enjoyed her journey. And I'm going to tell you one of the most proudest moments that I shared with you was on that rooftop. That was such a wonderful time to be on that rooftop. We all over to LA in the art district and looking over the city. And that was a beautiful moment that you were able to do that for me. So I greatly appreciate it. And that you're in a position to be able to, at the time to do that. Because of your life journey, because of the things that you said yes to, because of the shots that you shot, right? Yeah. Shooting shots, all of those things. So I greatly appreciate you. I greatly appreciate your time. And again, for you coming on Women of Color Live. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Denise. I really appreciate you. I love you so much. I really look to you like a mentor. So this meant a lot to me. So thank you for even asking me to be here.
You're welcome. And so Nikki did mention something. So those, if you're not familiar with what she was saying, SWOT, it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So that's something that, I learned in the corporate world that you can apply to, because as she did it, she applied to herself personally, that you can apply personally, right? You can do that analysis to help you navigate spaces. And I'm not going to say you're not done. You did it at that point. It's something that you revisit. So it's something maybe you come back every quarter, something you come back twice a year, however often, it's something that you come back to. So it's ongoing. Like everything we've talked about, it's an evolution, and we continue to grow. So it's not that you didn't finish it; it's ongoing.
Oh, for sure. It's in my notes. Trust me. I go back to it every now and then. I'm like, wait a minute, I learned something about myself today.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Love that.
So again, thank you so much, Nicole Welch, and thank you to the Leon Thomas Group down behind the scenes every single Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Share this with a woman who needs to be reminded that legacy is what you're building right now. And we'll be back next Thursday, June 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern with Dr. Connie Bell as we continue the execution series. See you then.